Hi there, and welcome to #Dep Talk. Thanks for joining me again and for liking and sharing and subscribing, all that good stuff. I absolutely appreciate it. I want to start off giving you a brief recap of our first #Dep Talk. It was titled You're Worth Knowing. And in it, I shared that in order for you to be successful in the workplace, that you have to have a deep understanding of yourself. You have to become an expert on you. And that in order to do that, you actually need to get a degree in you. So I want to help. In this episode and in the episode after this one, I'm going to share with you some areas that you can focus on. I want to provide you with some tools that you can use to kickstart your degree in you. These first 3 segments are significant because they establish that success isn't necessarily based on all the external things that we do, but that it starts internally. And what I mean by that is many times we get it wrong. We think that advancing in the workplace and really getting satisfaction is about working harder. We think that it's about making sure that your boss is satisfied or that we're making the right connections in the workplace, or maybe putting ourselves in certain projects or initiatives that will heighten our visibility at work. And all of those things are important, but they don't come first. What's more important than that is making sure that you know yourself, that you know your worth, your value, that you know what you bring to the table, and the thing that will help you move the needle in your organization. For today's talk, I want to start off with a question. Okay? I'm going to give you 7 seconds to answer this question. So, are you ready? What are your top 3 strengths? Go. I'm watching the clock right now. What are your top 3 strengths? Stop. How did you do? Chances are your response puts you in one of 4 categories. You have the first category. These folks were able to come up with more than 3 in the 7 seconds. You have another group where they were able to come up with the 3 in the time frame. Group 3, you were able to come up with about 1 or 2. And group 4, you got stuck. As you can tell, we're going to be talking about strength today. The title of today's talk is Strength Zone. Discover it, develop it, and stay in it. One of the most important things that you and I need to figure out about ourselves is what our strengths are. The thing is, if you had asked me about my strength years ago, or what my strengths were years ago, I would end up in group 4. I was stuck. And mostly because I struggled for so long with having low self-esteem. And so I didn't think that I was beautiful. I didn't think I was smart. I didn't think that I had any strengths. But if you asked me to come up with weaknesses or things that needed improvement, I could give you a laundry list of things. Peter Drucker says that in actuality, a lot of people struggle with coming up with strengths. In fact, many people don't actually know it. I want to read a quote that he says. He says, "Most people think they know what they're good at. They are usually wrong. More often, people know what they're not good at. And even then, more people are wrong than right." It's vital that you and I get this right. In fact, ideally, we should have clarity about our strengths before we go into college, because then we can use our education to develop our strengths and to show us strategic ways to figure out how to make a living using our strengths. We should know what our strengths are before we get a job or accept a promotion so that we can position ourselves to be excellent. It's vital that you and I get this piece right. I love definitions, so I want to read a couple of definitions to you about strengths. The first one is from the Cambridge Dictionary, and it says, strength is a quality that someone or something has that helps them succeed or make progress. The second one I want to take from Monster. Monster.com breaks down strengths into 3 different categories. It talks about knowledge-based types of strengths, transferable skills, and personal traits that are your unique qualities, which is really the one that I want to focus the most on. And then the third is from Psychology Today. And they say that our strengths are often things we find easy. And I have a great example of that. My older sister is a great cook, and she enhanced it, developed it by getting training. So when she steps into the kitchen, this girl could actually make leaves taste good. She's not stressing. There's no muss, no fuss. She gets it done. And then I give her compliments because I'm like, wow, this is amazing. You did such a great job. And it was just easy breezy. And she just brushes off the compliment. She's like, anybody could do this. This is not a big deal. However, when I step into the kitchen, it requires effort. You can see the beads of sweat coming down my face. It is not outside of the realm of possibility for you to hear, please let this come out good. Please let this come out the way I want it to. And it's not because I can't cook. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that because it is her strength, it comes easier for her. It still requires effort, but not as much effort for her as it requires for me. I wonder, can you think of things that people keep complimenting you on that you keep brushing off? That's a strength. Okay? Now, why is it important for you to stay in your strength zone? Because it's actually dangerous when you're in your weak zone. There are lots of reasons why it's dangerous, but I want to just talk about 4. The first one is struggle. When you're functioning from a place of weakness, every day at work becomes a struggle. Sometimes you're even working harder than your peers just to get the work to being, to a place where it's okay. But every day becomes a struggle. The second reason why it's dangerous to be in your weak zone is you lose credibility. Your boss is expecting you to function at a certain level of performance. And when you're not, you lose credibility with your manager. Your team is expecting you to function at a certain level. And what begins to happen is that when you're not at your best, when you're not functioning in your strength zone, the rest of the team has to compensate for that. The third thing is that your self-esteem takes a hit. It is disheartening to wake up every day and go to a job that you don't do very well, and you're getting feedback to confirm that. So your self-esteem takes a hit when you're not in your strength zone. And the fourth thing is discouragement. When you have to do this every single day, and when you feel like you're not performing well in your job, it actually affects the rest of your life. You see the rest of your life from the lens of this particular area. And it's not that you're not gifted. It's not that you don't have lots of other strength, but you're just working in an area that's not your strength zone. So what is it that you can do about this? Well, the good news is that every single person came to the planet having strengths with them. You have at least one strength. And there are other people who have 2, 3, and 4. You came to the planet with some strengths. And so your responsibility and my responsibility is to Discover it, develop it, and stay in it. Discover it, develop it, and stay in it. DDS. Basically, you need to get a DDS in your strengths. Here are 3 tips that I want to offer you in terms of truly discovering your strengths. The first is get alone. Put down the cell phone, put down the tablet, go away from people. I'm not saying go up in a cave somewhere, but get to a place where you have some alone time and take a notepad or a journal, if you do that, with you. And just write down the things that you're good at. Write down things that you do well. Think about some of the things that people compliment you on all the time that you just brush off because you're like, it wasn't a big deal. It didn't really require that much. But maybe it's not a big deal for you because it's a strength. Whereas for another person, it would require so much. The second tip is ask your peeps. There are people around you who love you and who know you best. They are the best people to ask about what your strengths are. The caution that I would give you, though, is to make sure that the people that you're asking, that you have a healthy relationship with them. They need to be people who love you. They need to be people who want good for you. And they need to be folks that will be honest with you. So ask the people around you that are your friends and that are your family who love you. The third tip is use some online tools. There are lots of them that are available. One of the tools that I use that I found really helpful is called the Clifton Strength Finder. And basically, it's a paid assessment. It's an assessment you have to pay for. But you take this assessment and it will either give you your top 5 strength themes or your 34 strength themes. And the cost will vary depending on which one you choose. They tell you what these strength themes are and they tell you how to lean into them. They give you a whole write-up and tell you how to lean into these strengths at work. So take advantage of the online tools that are available. Now, the thing is, I know that there are many of you out there who you're not in your strength zone. You know, you're saying, I have rent and mortgage and I have just school fees and just these different things that you're responsible for. And so, you know, you got this job that you do well enough. And at this point, you're like, well enough has got to do it because it pays the bills. And I absolutely respect that. That's really, honestly, where a lot of people are, where you're in a job right now, not because it's in your strength zone or that you're particularly satisfied with it. It's just that it pays the bills. But I guess the thought that I want you to think about these 2 things. Think about, is that really the place that you want to stay? The reality is that you may need to be in it now, but is that where you want to stay? And the other piece is, how long will your employer be okay with you doing it well enough? How long will you be okay or satisfied with doing it well enough? Here's the good news. If you happen to find yourself in a situation where you're not in your strength zone, there's still great things that you can do until you get there. The first is take advantage of the resources that are available at your job. Many organizations have a learning management system of some kind where you can take courses. Perhaps it's a situation where you can sit down with your boss or with your HR person if you feel more comfortable and just share what your struggles are and see if they can provide you with some resources that will be helpful for you. There's also lynda.com, which is a learning tool given through LinkedIn that you can utilize. So that's one thing you can do, because at the end of the day, you want to be excellent. You want to do the very best that you can do and be the very best that you can be in your role. A second thing that you can do is to volunteer for special projects. In a lot of organizations, there are all kinds of different groups and just different projects that are happening where you can volunteer for that role, particularly if it allows you to lean more into your strength. So just be sure to talk to your manager and maybe talk to whoever is heading up that particular project and see if you can be a part of it. A third thing that you can do if you're not in your strength zone yet is to help out another team. Maybe there's another department, one that you have your sights set on in maybe a year or two. Many times departments get to a place where they have backlogs, or maybe they have just a lot of extra work and they could use some additional assistance. Talk to your manager and see if you can, and then talk to that particular manager and see if you can volunteer and actually assist that department, because when you're doing this stuff, you're actually developing your strength. And the fourth thing is to start a side hustle. I have a friend who about a week or 2 weeks ago, she got her degree in nursing. That's what she's been studying. But she also has a passion and she has this strength where she is able to enhance the beauty of women by doing makeup. And so she is working that side hustle. She's been doing that for a few years. And so if your particular role right now doesn't allow you to be in your strength zone, make a way for yourself by creating a side hustle to do that. I want to leave you with these last 4 quotes from Mr. Drucker. He says, "Only when you operate from your strengths can you achieve excellence. Only when you operate from your strength can you achieve true excellence." Number 2, concentrate on your strength. Put yourself where your strengths can produce results. Number 3, work on improving your strength. Number 4, go to work on acquiring the skills and knowledge you need to fully realize your strength. Well, that's it today for today's #Deb Talk. I want to thank you again for joining me. I hope that you found this talk helpful and that you are convinced that today you need to start getting your DDS in your strength, to discover it, develop it, and stay in it. In our next video, I'm going to provide you with even more great resources and areas that you can focus on so that you can get that degree in you and know yourself and launch yourself. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share it with somebody that you think will find it beneficial. Thanks again for joining me. Take care and have a great work week.